What's up? What's up, fam? Welcome in, baby. Welcome back to another episode of the Rundown. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in, man. I got a quick show for you guys tonight. A little solo show. Got some things I wanted to talk about, man. But if you're new to the show, you're new to the Rundown, I'm your host, as always, Drew Johnson. Make sure you guys are hitting that like and share button, man. I really appreciate everybody that's been hitting me up about the show. You know what I mean? Showing any type of support, man. It's all love from me, and I appreciate it all. But make sure you guys are following the new channel over at the Rundown 102. And hit subscribe on the YouTube, man. I'll drop that in the comments below as well. Trying to get the YouTube going, man. So if you missed Tuesday night's episode, go ahead and fire that thing back up as well. It was a banger. You know what I mean? I had the legend on, Larry Bluestein. He's been all around from the spring to the summer periods. So he wanted to come on and talk some programs and players that's caught his attention. Give you guys some love that you deserve, man. Shouts out to our Florida coaches in the building, man. They deserve the spotlight for sure. But that's why I had that behind the playbook, you know what I mean? Behind the playbook segment on, which I love to do, featuring some of the better coaches in the state. And one of the top ones in the Central Florida area, man, over at Seminole Bokie High School. And that's Coach Carl Calhoun Jr. So I had my brother on to talk about his staff, you know, his administration, the community, and of course, man, the student athletes. So if you missed that, man, you're missing out, brother. Go back and tap into that Tuesday night's episode. So I got, you know what I mean, something light for you guys, but obviously it's going to bring the value. It's going to be some good insights. But I kind of want to recap the Bartow Shootout. I didn't get a chance to do that last episode. So I want to go over and talk about some prospects, some programs that caught my attention from the Bartow Shootout. Shouts out to Bartow High School, Coach McGriff. I believe they do this thing annually, you know what I mean? So they hosted a bunch of programs from around the state to come get some work in for the summer period. And there's some prospects I got to talk about. So I wanted to come on here and do that for you guys. And another thing, man, if you missed it, I think this was 2 episodes ago, but I had the opportunity to break down the class 2026 through 2028 quarterbacks to know. Man, shouts out to all our quarterback trainers, brother. You know what I mean? Of course, you can pick up a rock or flip a coin and find an athlete in the state of Florida, but to see the investment, the progression, the overall output and production from our Florida signal callers, man, I love to see it. You know what I mean? So next up, we'll need the trench guys. There's a few trench guys popping up. You know what I mean? The trench guys out there in the Trench Academy, I believe, in the Tampa area. Some Polk County guys as well trying to do some things. So I love it. You know what I mean? We need some investment into our quarterbacks and our trenches. So if you missed that, man, go tap into that. Broke down some quarterbacks to know for you college coaches, scouts, media, anybody tapped in to know. But tonight, it's wide receiver spotlight, you know what I mean? So we'll talk some 26s through 28 breakouts to know who's next up and kind of who deserves the attention, you know what I mean? For you college coaches watching, have your notebooks out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get into tonight's show, obviously, got to give a shout out to our sponsors, man. This show is brought to you by my brother, Taste One Boiled Peanuts, Lance Leggett, former 5-star Miami Hurricane. Got to get these out. My shouts out to our first giveaway winners, man. We had a giveaway last couple episodes. Mikael King and Ladarius Simmons were on it quick, man. They knocked out all 4 steps to get a giveaway. So they'll get some of these in their hands. They'll get the D2O love. Shouts out to the Drink D2O family. Our Spoken Nutrition family for our workout guys. That creatine, man. Tap in. Get your protein. Get your creatine in. Come on, dog. We got to get big around here. And my Quench Hydration family hooked the boy up with a nice care package. So we'll be getting some products in you guys' hands. Hey, these are busting, dog. These are good. So I got a code for you guys, too. If y'all want to get some of these, I got a little 15% code off for you guys. All right, man. Shouts out to our sponsors. You know what I mean? They're showing love to your boy. They're showing love to the show. So you guys rock out with them. But all right. First up, my basketball family. Got to break down the Bartow Shootout, man. Again, shouts out to the Bartow program, Coach McGriff, for hosting up to 20-plus programs this weekend. And there's a lot of ballers that stepped up. So we'll break it down in kind of some sections from our top performers, some paint beasts, floor generals, under the radars to know a lot of insight. So top performers, man. If you've seen the content from this week, if you follow the page, this kid right here, and I've been seeing the highlights on social media. That's cool and whatnot, but I got to see it in person, right, to put a stamp on it. And shouts out to our Polk County programs, Coach Blick, Coach Mike Blicker, and Coach Fitzgerald and the crew with Santa Fe and Victory. But there was some out of city teams that showed out. And this kid, my top performer of the weekend was Julian Fox. Yeah, some of the better performances from throughout the weekend, man. Had some 20-plus point games. Showed why, he's not just a scorer. You know what I mean? He's not just a three-point shooter. The knockdown threes is hand down, man down. You better get out there for sure. But he shows good pace and good poise. He had a smooth bounce, you know what I mean? Some sneaky athleticism. He poked on the kid, you know what I mean? Dunked on somebody out there. Made some good reads, played tough defense. But he helped Edgewater remain solid throughout the weekend, man. So Julian Fox, I seen him at some showcases on social media doing his thing and whatnot. But to see it in person, man, consistent production. Really like what he provides. Another one. Let's go down this top performer list. The General. Shouts out to Santa Fe Coach Mike and them boys, man. This is Toby Lane, 2026 guard. Ran the show for the Santa Fe Hawks this weekend, dog. High IQ. He's a physical guard on defense. I was a small guard. You know what I mean? You small guards, you got to be a dog on both sides of the ball. Got to limit turnovers. Got to be able to run the offense, bring the ball up, control the pace. And you got to be a pest on defense. And that's one thing. Toby Lane, dog, has really progressed his overall game. I remember seeing him last year. Fits the system, right? That's one thing he could do. Fits the system. But this year around, dog, he's not afraid to mix it up. You know what I mean? In and out. Use his screens. Get to the rack. Get to the rim. So I'm impressed with Toby Lane's overall game. Ethan Knox, another Santa Fe kid. Top 2028 in the state for a reason. But he's going to be nationwide here pretty soon. Ethan Knox, 2028, and another kid, Derwin Link, out of Bartow High School. These are two of the top 2028s in the state, in the country. Two long, lengthy guards, two long, lengthy forwards that can protect the rim, score around the rim. Ethan Knox kind of he's a little different, you know what I mean? He's a little more fluid in his game, you know what I mean? Shows off a good motor. A little bit, you know what I mean? He scored a little bit more, you know what I mean? But Derwin Link protected the rim, put some blocks on the backboard, glass cleaner, you know what I mean? Crashes the boards, really solid in transition. If he can get that touch around the rim, touch around the block, he'll expand his game, expand his opportunities a lot more. And another top forward, Edgewater kid, Jakari Lofton, one of the most athletic forwards at the event. He put a body on a poster, nasty dunk, blocked multiple shots, ran in transition really well, showed off great confidence. Him and Julian Fox were kind of, bouncing off each other. They had a couple other kids too who I can talk about, but those two were, you know what I mean, leading the way. He's a high motor kid. Really like the Lofton guy. He kind of reminded me of Alex Seliskar. Seliskar, score a little better, but man, Lofton, like his upside for any college coaches watching. My small guards, man, I should have went after Toby Lane. Another small guard of the weekend, that's Miles Morrell over at Victory Christian. It's in the genes for the Morrell family, you know what I mean? Shouts out to the fam, but clutch gene activated for this kid. Pops came over, started off with him hitting a game winner and 1-3. Brought it over to the other court, you know what I mean? Was knocking down triple after triple, man. Another hand down, man down kid. If you don't get out there, it's going to be a problem. But shouts out to Miles Morrell. His game's expanding too, you know what I mean? Another kid that might have fit the system good with Victory. They're going to have some talent. But when you're missing 2028 national top 5 guard Quentin Wilson and another knockdown shooter Tucker Fox, it's your time to shine. The spotlight gets on you a little bit more. So to see his overall game progress, I'm impressed with Miles Morrell. And to go right with Miles without guard, right? Another one of the top kids in the Polk County area, back off of injury, but looking ready to go. You know what I mean? He's more controlled, more composed in his game. And he's a lot, like I said, more controlled around the rim. I even seen him hit a couple mid-range shots. So Thought Gall's game's exposing. The more he gets back healthy, get his mental aspect right. If any of you got hurt before, it's a lot more than just getting out there. It's a mental aspect as well. So I really like his game, really like his chances to play college ball. But some more top performers just to go down the list. Willie Pidgeot Jr. out of Tampa Catholic. next level athleticism, man. He kind of plays in that half court set. Or no, I like him at, man, transition. I'm watching him play because I seen him on social media as well. But I like it, man. You in-person evaluation, nothing's better than it. But to see him this time around, he scores really, really good in transition. He's very hard to stop going to the rim once he gets rolling. You know what I mean? So he's a downhill type guard, combo guard type player. But he looks good in the open floor, man. Ball handling type kid. But as his jumper expands, his game will expand as well. But Shannon MacArthur, real solid forward, long, lengthy, just, really coming into his game and expanding his overall game. But he crashes the boards well. He's a paint presence, can protect the rim. Really like what he provides. Scoot Donald, twitchy guard over at Tampa Catholic, explodes past defenders. First step is dangerous, man. I really was impressed with him. Not afraid to get to the rim and make it happen, but he can shoot the rock as well. But he's a rising 2027 guard that I really like. The other Tampa Catholic kid, Neymar Flores, one of the more underrated guards this weekend. I didn't even know that was Flores, so I talked to him. I was like, Neymar, oh, you're a guy, you know what I mean? But he played with a lot of toughness, handled the ball well, knocked down some shots, and he didn't shy away from the big moments. You know what I mean? Tampa Catholic has a lot of guards, but he was the one that stepped up when needed. Bartow High School, another 20. Man, what's going on with Bartow and these 2028s? You know what I mean? It's Derwin Link, another kid that I like, James Rattery, man. One of my favorite 2028 guards for a reason. I keep seeing him, but he gets after it. He's a dog on both sides of the ball. Can get to the rim, get his game going, get to the line. But on defense, man, once he gets going and flips that switch, you guards bringing the ball up, going to have some trouble. But the 2028s at Bartow, Derwin Link, James Rattery, Jameer Wallace, big-time combo guard type kid, forward type kid. You know what I mean? Versatile, can do it all, plays football as well. Impressed with the Wallace kid. He's going to be beating up on a few of y'all this year. And the Crossley kid, man, talking about a knockdown three. Even this past weekend, playing with Coach Blick and them boys in Georgia. This kid's another hand down, man down. So Crossley, I like to see him shoot the ball well, but his game's going to come and expand overall as well. So those 2028s at Bartow High School are like that in the Polk County area. But Dallas Lambert looked good over at Port Charlotte, under radar glue guy, kind of a forward. He's another dual sport kid, plays football. Marcus Nestor over at Port Charlotte looked really good. Tough nose guard, plays with good hustle. Even took some charges. You know what I mean? I like to see my smaller guards get in there and put their body on the line. But he controlled the pace and looked really good. Some paint beasts for you guys. MJ McCullough over at Victory Christian, man. Big body, mobile, showed his growth and impact on both ends, man. I remember seeing him last year. He was about 6'4". But I'm like, who is this kid crashing the boards like this? You know what I mean? He's all over the glass. But now you see him, he's a lot more bigger. You know what I mean? Can use his frame, use his elbows a little bit, bump you guys to get some rebounds. But some Florida generals that I didn't shout out. Justin Beckwith over at Port Charlotte looked solid. Aiden Curry over at Auburndale, man. Strong frame guard, can control the tempo, settle things down, has the tools, you know what I mean? Just needs to show a little bit more consistency as his game, you know, as he comes into his game. But Zakai Hardy, a 128 kid, looked really good. Sohan Allah over at Tampa Catholic, another under the radar guard, combo guard type kid, strong frame, solid motor, efficient, you know what I mean? And one thing I told him, you know what I mean, and you guys are watching, your coach is going, you know, you gotta play your system, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know what I mean, be this AAU type kid that's all about himself, but the Sohan kid was one that I seen, man. He could get his game going. He kind of played too much into the system, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to get to the line, you know what I mean, to get your game going, get hot so you can start taking those shots, you know what I mean? So he was a kid, man, just get into your game, you know what I mean? Start rolling, you know what I mean? Draw some fouls. And if you can't get into your game on the offensive side, play some defense, force some turnovers so you can get out and transition. You know what I mean? Cause some problems. But really quick, man, let me talk about some other kids that might have caught my attention as I break down these articles that I put out from the past weekend. Some hidden gem stock risers, man. Mikael Santa over at Port Charlotte. Talk about a dog. Another dual sport athlete, man. Not afraid to let you know. You know what I mean? Get up in you a little bit. I like him, dog. Physical. Took some charges, owned the paint, played with real grit. Shouts out to the Santa kid. Kadir Rackley over at Evans. Man, Evans was out there, tough as nails, undersized guard as well, but he was always in attack mode, man. I like that kid. Johnny Lazaridis over at Newsom. Newsom had some kids. He was a long kid, confident guard, some good handles. You know what I mean? Smooth little jumper over there. Him and Max Urbanex, man. Slim forward, all the tools in the box, man. Just got to be more confident in his game. Attack. You know what I mean? Make the defense collapse on you, even if you don't feel like the game's rolling, man. Get to the rim. Those Evans, oh my goodness. We got to go all the way back to top performers. Man, if you're watching right now, and if St. Pete Gibbs is watching, brother, O'Neal Delancey. I don't know how I missed this name, right? Dude, 2027 guard. One of the top 2027s in the state, man. But this kid, every time I see him, it started 2 years ago when he was just in 8th grade. He pulled up to our prep hoops event, pulling up from damn near half court. But now his overall game is just expanded, man. You know, he's going to be big time. He's going to be a college guard, knock down a game-winning and 1-3. He can do it all, man. Really, really impressed with O'Neal Delancey. So, any other kids I want to mention, man? If you feel like I missed you from this weekend, tag yourself. You know, I want to follow along with as many kids as I can. If you don't know, I'm the lead scout over at Prep Hoops. I know a lot of you know me from Prep Red Zone or just my football coverage platform, whatever. But basketball, I'm all over as well. So that was I'll cut it short there, man. I just want to throw some names out there for you guys for the Bartow Shootout. Shouts out to the Bartow program, Coach McGriff, always, you know what I mean, showing some hospitality. But some programs as I close out, Orlando Jones is in the building. I don't think they dropped the game for the weekend. Windermere, another solid team, they were there and went to the Villages as well the next day. I don't think they lost the whole weekend. They played really solid. Edgewater was good. Santa Fe Catholic, Port Charlotte, Victory Christian, Sarasota, Bartow, obviously, Tampa Catholic. Gibbs was in the building. Auburndale, Newsom. You know what I mean? Going down to the Olympia was in the building. Lake Highland Prep was in the building. Man, I missed out on Lake Highland Prep. Lake Howell as well. Plant City was in the building. Discovery, North Marion. A bunch of schools, man. So shouts out to, you know what I mean, everybody that showed up to Polk County this weekend. I was able to get my eyes on a lot of prospects before the season kicks off, before this fall season kicks off for football. But all right, man, that's it from a basketball family, man. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button if you were mentioned tonight. You know what I mean? For sure, I want to follow along with you guys. But all right, my football family. Let me take a drink real quick. As I mentioned, if you missed it, man, I broke down the last episode, some 26s, 27s, and 28 quarterbacks to know for you college coaches as we transition. Now we're talking about receivers. You know what I mean? The state of Florida is like no other. The Sunshine State, you're going to have real deal talent when it comes to ball hawks and glue hands, wide receivers. Starts with the 26 class. You know what I mean? These are the top guys, right? The big names. The 9 Burrows over at Bowles, the Calvin Russell at Northwestern, Larry Miles at Jones, Justin Williams over at Buchholz, Samarian Wingo over at St. Augustine, Kenyon Austin over at Bishop Moore. Down to a few more guys I don't want to forget. The Brian Williams over at Lake Mary, blowing up, right? 6'4" kid. Hayden Moore over at Newberry, Minnesota commit, has the opportunity to, you know, get a lot of more love from some of these coaches. Demetrius McCray over at the First Academy, really like him. Think he's committed to Pittsburgh. Dylan Faison, Notre Dame commit. Jaden Lopez, a South Florida All-Star, plays basketball and football. I'm also excited to see Jaden Petit over at FBA, Jesse Harden, UNLV commit, DJ Williams over at Carrollwood Day, like what he can provide. Got my guy Miles McDonald tossing the rock this year. Dylan Wester over at Booker. Joel Morris over there, my guy, you know what I mean? Got a lot of talent surrounding him. And UCF commits Tyron Wortham and Kai's Nitro Baker, man. So that 2026 class, the window's closing, right? A lot of them are committed or committing. But you can't, you know what I mean? You can't skip over those names. And some 26s, I think, next to Blow has an opportunity to come around to lock in, you know what I mean? Their commitment is Carl Jean Bart, damn near led the state for 26s and receiving yards over at Evans High School now. London Green over at Leonard, elite route runner, man. You coaches slept on, man, but he's the real deal. RJ Peabody over at Mitchell. That Tampa area needs to get some love, man. Shouts out to my brother in Huddle, Shannon. Barrett Schultz over at Lake Mary High School, big time kid. You know, lengthy kid, you know what I mean? Good, strong hands. I like him. Shout out to them certified dogs, Coach Brooks. This offseason, have my eyes on them. Maddox Hunstad over at Beachside. Shout out to them Beachside boys. They got a couple elite wide receivers, you know what I mean? But I like the Maddox kid, Jaden McMillan over at Holy Trinity. He was blowing up, you know what I mean? The starters off his recruiting process is coming for him this time around. He's going to have to make a decision. But Devon Washington, shouts out to my brother Nate. He's over at Lake Brantley now, smooth and electric receiver, man. Really starting to blow up on social media. DJ Hicks came to the main event camp, killed it, man. He's over at Jones High School now, moving over from Buchholz. Robert Stith, them Niceville boys, man. Shouts out to the North Florida crew, you know what I mean? They got some ballers up there as well. And the Hamilton twins, the Brian and Ryan Hamilton over at Gaither High School. I believe one of them just committed to Pittsburgh as well. They play football over there in that Tampa area. I can go on and on with these 26s, but these are some real deals. If I missed the name in the 2026 class, drop it in the comments, man. We want to make sure we spotlight as many kids and many student athletes from that 2026 class as the window closes on you guys. But all right, man, let's move over to our 27s. Give the spotlight to our 2027 class. It starts off with the headliner, Nick Linear, man, the South Florida crew. There's going to be a lot of South Florida kids, obviously, you know what I mean? It's his own state damn near. But Nick Linear kid over at Northwestern starting to blow up on social media, man. Really like him. Has the opportunity to be the #1 player in the state here. So, hey, can't go over without skipping Polk County, baby. Shouts out to Cornelius Purdy over at Lake Wells High School. Was committed to Florida State University, but decommitted from my nose yesterday. It's all good, but he's big time, right? Could play both sides of the ball. Not sure where he'll end up at college, but as his body, you know, it grows more into his body. He knows the route tree. Would love to see him play a safety, kind of a defensive back, maybe even a nickel, you know what I mean, what he can do. But Jamarian Simmons over at Gobby, big time North Florida kid. Julius Jones over at St. Thomas Aquinas, electric wide receiver. I believe I seen him at Elite 11 a few months ago. It was like that. Or that was, I think that might have been the other kid, but Julius Jones is like that for sure. Amari Stevens at American Heritage is committed to Miami. Another South Florida kid like that. Sean Thompson as well. Camarion Young over at MacArthur, and Anthony Jennings for Dillard. A lot of South Florida kids, but that 27 class, man, it's electric, dude. That's some names for you guys who you should go watch the film and check out. Some kids that I believe are due for some breakout years, man. 27 class, I can go on and on, but Dallas Crescenzo, I believe I'm saying that right. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize, young man. But the Dallas kid, you know what I mean? Florida State offensive rolling in. Big time power forward offensive rolling in for him. Mike Connor over at Oak Leaf, one of the top receiving threats in the state, racked up the receiving yards. Hanaj Williams moved over to Edgewater High School. Really like we could provide. Another kid that came out to our Prep Red Zone showcase. But I remember seeing him when I was still in college, I believe. He was over at Timber Creek. Braylon Simmons moved over to Mainland now. Like what he could provide. And Jordan Donahue, big time kid, big receiver. He's over at Oviedo High School, man. Shouts out to my Oviedo crew. You know what I mean? They got some talent as well. Speed kills, man. This 2027 class has it. Break down some speedsters that I like. Manny McKinney, man. He's moving over to TFA now. Dude, it's time, man. Shouts out to Pop. It's your time now, Manny. I've been seeing you do it in the offseason. I've been seeing you do it at Clearwater Academy. It's time now. So Michael Vernon over at Jesuit, another slimy boy kid. Electric, man. Content crazy. One hand type kid, but I'm ready to see him do it for Jesuit. They came over to Bryant Stadium and gave my dreadnought some problems. So he'll be good this year. Noah Flores, man, over at MCC. Dude, this kid can play both sides of the ball. Electric. I'm not sure why or if he's still being slept on, but it started off with him. I remember a couple of years ago seeing him at 24K, but he's coming into his game now. He can play college ball. And last but not least, just on a bus tour with this kid, electric gadget piece, special teams killer, and that's Gavin Davis. Man, just seeing him dominate some Division I Power 5 camps, route runner, right? Electric, speedy track kid. So I'm excited to see what he can do this fall season. So, all right, that's some 27s I'm excited to see, man. If I missed you, like I said, it's a shorter show. I can go on and on. It's a lot of 27s, but tag yourself below, man, so I can follow along with you, get you in some of these prep red zone articles. So 27 class. And lastly, man, as I close out the show, our 28s. They're just getting started, man, but these names, coaches, media, scouts, write these names down. Obviously, you're going to know a lot of them. That's Bryson Wright out of Mandarin High School. I'm not sure if I've seen a better 2028 wide receiver in a while. You know, I mean, size, frame, mentality, hands, route running, breaks. As a freshman, he has everything you want. So he'll be big time. Eric McFarland as well over at IMG High School is going to be a big time receiver. Lamar Garrison is moving over to East Ridge now. I like what I think it was the number one receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken. Tyree Manning's over at Booker. I'm hearing a lot about him. You know what I mean? These Booker boys, they got a lot of talent, but I'm hearing a lot about the Tyree Manning's kid. Going to down south, Tremont Isaac at Western. Gianni Lewis over at Booker T. Washington. I like the Gianni Lewis kid too. You know what I mean? Don't sleep on him. Aiden, he's getting a lot of attention, but you need some more. Aiden Johnson, South Broward. And finishing with my three guys I got eyes on, man. Just on the bus tour with this kid. Those are some solid 2028s, but I like what this kid can provide and his chances. And that's 2028, Luke Wilson over at CCC. I already know what I call him. I call him White Lightning, man. If you get out there and try to guard this kid, you're likely going to end up on Film Noir Spike D's content reel. But he works with Route Guide. You know what I mean? His route running is next level. But once he puts it all together, puts that fall season together, put that track regimen together, you know what I mean? Get that 40 right. His sky's the limit, man. We were at Clemson. Dabo Sweeney loved him. You know what I mean? So he a killer. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Another killer, route runner right behind him. Shouts out to my brother Nate. Another route runner that'll go and hurt a lot of y'all ankles this year is Jacob McDonald, man. He's over at Lake Brantley High School this year, over there with Jackson Stecker and them boys. And Lake Brantley boys done beefed up a little bit. But he's a track kid, about 6 foot, 175. But 4'5" kid and an electric route runner. In and out of his breaks, strong hands. So Jacob McDonald is nice. And lastly, Demetrius Gibson over at Royal Palm Beach. I believe he can play both sides of the ball, if I'm not mistaken. But hold on. Yeah, I believe he can play both sides of the ball, if I'm not mistaken. But those Royal Palm Beach boys need some love as well. You know what I mean? So the 2028 class is gonna be elite. The 2027s as well. But that 2026 class, I look at it, man, that's a lot of names. That's a lot of names. You feel me? That's gonna play D1 big time football. But all right, y'all, that's it for the show tonight. As I said, you know what I mean? Shorter show tonight. I just wanted to come on here. I came on Tuesday. I'm wanting to do 2 episodes per week for you guys. I'm going to have my media guys on, of course. Going to have some of the bigger names on when it comes to these personalities. But I want to have some solo shows where I throw some names out, where I show some prospects and programs that's catching my attention. So it's all love from me, man. It's all love to you coaches, to you programs, to you administrators, down to the student athletes, to the parents, everybody that's investing into our young men, right? To be better on and off the field, to be better fathers, to be better sons, to be better nephews, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. It starts in sports. It starts in the youth leagues for Florida, man. It's in the water for us, man. So much appreciated to everybody that's been showing love. Make sure you're hitting that follow button at Real News 102 and follow the Rundown 102, man. I just made that page not too long ago. So I'd appreciate if you guys support that as well. And subscribe to the YouTube. It'll be in the comments. Look in the comments now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All of this is free support. as I support you guys along your journey. So shout out to our parents, shout out to our coaches supporting our young men. Much love. We'll be back next week, maybe even Sunday if I can. I'll try to have a Sunday show for you guys. But that's it for tonight. Bartow Shootout recap. And 2026 is through 38 wide receivers to know. On the rundown, your host, Drew Johnson. I'll be back next show. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like and share button, man. Come on, y'all. Peace. Much love, y'all.